So as you can see, I was correct about the overlapping of the frames. I actually think that Philip may have advised me of this when he lent it to me, but it's been a couple of months since I received it, so so I made the mistake anyway. Hello, so lately I've been trying out a few different pinhole cameras, very kindly lent to me by various people, so thank you very much. I've got a Diana F+. This one is mine, but Peggy from Camera Go Camera lent me another one and explained to me about the pinhole function, which I had been previously using incorrectly and ruining my prints with, my images with. So I've used this one, and there'll be a separate video about the Diana. And now I have two Holgas. I have one sort of standard 4x4 Holga which Peggy lent me, which is modified to take a cable release because Holgas don't have a function like the Diana which holds the shutter open. So this one has this just a tiny little plastic thing, and basically once you put the shutter down you just put that in and it holds the shutter open, and then when you're done you can take that out and it closes the shutter. So that's handy for this one, but the Holgas don't have one. So Peggy has customised this one so that it's got one permanently sort of glued in place, although I've managed to get that jammed before I've even used it. Sorry, Peggy. And then Philip has lent me this Holga Wide, which I'm very excited to try out. This one has not been modified, but I mean it does have a cable release thing, but I don't have a screw-in cable release. I lost mine on the beach. I managed to fall out of my pocket into the sea and be lost to the elements. My option really is to hold it down, unless I can think of something that's going to hold it closed. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I have opened the back of this one because I'm about to load it with some film, because I'm going to go take the dog for a walk and I thought I would go and get some pinhole images. I'm confused by the back because these are really long images. It still says 12, but I'm not going to get 12 images on a... because that's impossible. Surely I'm going to get like two images. Anywho, I'm going for Ilford FP4+. So let's load the film. Okay, so I'm going to put my shoes on, get the dog lead, and I'm going to try and think in that time of some way that I can manage this shutter issue, and then we're going to get out and walk the dog. Okay, it is day 3 of shooting my Holga Pinhole cameras. I've got a couple of shots left on the Holga Wide. I am a bit confused because it's suggesting that I've got 12 shots on there. I'm at about shot 5. Does that mean that every frame lines up exactly and there's no gap between? Because that's the only way I can think that you could still fit 12 frames onto a standard 120 roll of film. I don't know. Sorry, I'm bunged up now. Can you hear it? Anyway, I have fixed the issue with this Holga and I'm about to load it with some film. I'm going to go and have a look in my stash and see what I've got. And then we're going to go for another walk because it's another lovely day outside, lovely and sunny. And this one I should actually be able to hold relatively still. So I am concerned because I didn't manage to come up with a solution to my shutter problem for the Holga Wide, which I literally just had to hold the shutter button down. So there's probably going to be some camera shake on top of the fact that pinhole is generally not that. Whatever the word is. But this one has the cable release attached. So I'm just going to choose some film and then load it. So with pinhole photography, one of the biggest issues is reciprocity failure on the films. I have a handy app on my phone that's part light meter and then part other fancy bits, and one of those is a reciprocity calculator. So I can do my light meter reading and then I enter the time that it gives me into the Reciprocity calculator, and it will give me the adjusted time for the film stock that I'm using, because different film stocks have different reciprocity failures. Ilford FP4 Plus is included, so I can use that for ease while I'm out dog walking. So you'll have seen some of the results from my shoot. I haven't yet seen them. I haven't yet developed them as of speaking right now. So I don't know what the results are, but what I wanted to talk about is the usability of these cameras. So I haven't yet used the skewer. That one's going to come in a later video. But what I can do is compare the two different Holgas to the Diana in terms of usability. We're not talking about the results because I haven't yet developed as of speaking. So we're just talking about usability. So this version that I've borrowed from Peggy, it doesn't have a place to put in your shutter release. So Peggy has she's glued on a shutter release. But I think this shutter release might be broken because it's like permanently down. I can't seem to get it to come back up again. So I'm just using the lens cap to do the exposures with. Sorry, I've got my little, that's not usually on it, that's for my tripod. And then she's also put on a little spirit level so that you can make sure your frame is straight. There isn't really a lot that you can do with this. It is literally load a roll of film, choose whether you want 6x6 or 4x4 images, and set off and take pictures, really. The wide one, I'm guessing was made later because they have actually put in an area on the shutter for a cable release. However, other than this one that is permanently glued to the Holga, I don't have a cable release. I lost mine to the sea. I never did work out how to do it. I tried using elastic band, but I couldn't find anything of the right tension. So all the exposures that I've done on this have been handheld. So in terms of the images created, I'm not necessarily looking for sharpness. I'm just looking for whether I like the aspect ratio and whether I like the exposure, whether, you know, my app has given me correct exposures for my pinhole work. similarly to, it's not got any extra features other than the fact that it has the spirit level built in. It's not got any extra features to the standard Holga, it's just the wider aspect ratio. And so that brings me to the Diana. The Diana F Plus to be specific, because the Diana, there's the baby Diana, and then there's the standard Diana, which is 35mm. So this one, I think I've still got one frame left to shoot in this. So this one, in order to make an exposure, it comes with a lens, and you just twist off to get to the pinhole area. So already we have a lot more functionality from the Diana than the Holgas. These Holgas, obviously I'm not talking about any other Holga. And again, you've got frame lines for 6x6 or 4x4. You can also get different backs. So I've got another one that I've borrowed from Peggy that has an Instax back. You can also add a flash to the Diana. I don't believe, no, there's no way to put a flash on the Holga, but there is on the Diana. So in terms of functions, there's a lot more that you can do with the Diana than the Holga. However, loading the Diana is a faff. I found it very difficult to get the right tension on the film spool. Where are my words? I found it very difficult to get the right tension to pull the... I found it very difficult to get the right tension to make the wind on work. I found it was getting stuck a lot because it's just so loose because of, it's a plastic camera, it's very flimsy. Whereas with both the Holgas, the wind on was very well tensioned. I didn't have any issues with looseness or not winding on. It all seemed to work very well. However, getting the film roll in, because it's a much more rigid plastic and there's no, like a pull-out bit, like a lot of cameras have a pull-out bit so it's easier to get the roll in. I found it very difficult to put the roll of film into these cameras in the first place, but once it was in, everything worked perfectly. This is the thing, do you buy something that's purpose-built, or do you buy something that can do lots of things but perhaps not do those things as well? So that, I think, is where I fall. I think that sort of sums it up in a nutshell. Is it more important to you that something functions as it's intended to, or is it more important that something has a variety of uses and can be versatile for what you need? Pixl-latr! So as you can see, I was correct about the overlapping of the frames. I actually think that Philip may have advised me of this when he lent it to me, but it's been a couple of months since I received it, so so I made the mistake anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another roll of film through it, not for this video, but I am going to put another roll of film through it, and I will, when I wind it on, I won't go 1, 2, 3, 4. I will look for I'll skip a number, so I'll go for 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 or 1, 3, 5, missing out ones to help with that overlapping issue. So yeah, not a great success on the Holga Wide, but that's not the Holga Wide's fault. I do think that my worry about camera shake is very clear even from overlapped images. I think there's just one of the C defences that it looks relatively sharp, but I don't really know why that one would be any sharper than the others, but They're certainly not as clear as the standard Holga, which I used a tripod for and I didn't have to hold. I just removed the lens cap. So yeah, we'll have to try another one for that one. With the standard Holga, I really liked the results. However, I'm not a big fan of Foma 200. I'm not a big fan of any of the Foma films. I've never particularly got anything that I really liked from them. I always find they just feel a bit meh. I think they feel, you know, to quote Eclectochrome, Molly at Eclectochrome, they're just meh. I find them a bit muddy, a bit, you know, uninspiring. But in terms of the image, it's really hard to explain. Like, in terms of the image quality, I was happy with how the Holga performed, so I would like to try that one again. And when I come to do the next one where I compare these Holgas to the Diana and the Skura, I will be interested to see how they stack up against each other. Yeah. So, see you for that one. Which is your favourite pinhole camera if you've already shot pinhole? Is there one that you think I should try? Or do you think I would get just as good results with, say, a homemade one? Because I am considering having a go at making a homemade one. If I get any time, I think I probably have enough projects on my plate for the time being. But, you know, maybe I will. Maybe I'll have a go at making my own. Love to hear from you.